Yeah, so I just wanted to give you a quick look on the prototype Screenboard I created in Illustrator. So this is really the major file where I have this combination, the combination of the wireframe and the designs. So all the screens, smartphone size and desktop size, are linked in this Illustrator file so that not only I can directly see the comparison between the smartphone version and the desktop version, how they will look like from the interface, but also I can see the full page right here and the current design. And this is true for all major screens. So um, after so uh, after some time, I will integrate more and more screens, of course, in this file. So this is already great for having an overview about all this. For example, the start screen, how the start screen will look like when you're not logged in. So when you're a new user who the first time ever visit InLearnity, what the person will see. The same thing in this case also with the design that I started to create. So it's not finished, right? Remember, this is not finished. This is work in progress. So this is just a sneak peek of what it will look like. There's nothing final about this. This is in development. So have that in mind. So the design here is just an example of how it could look like and to really get a feeling of what the problems can be. For example, that in the small versions of the search results, it could really be tricky to really put all the informations, the most relevant metadata, in these small search results without making it completely unreadable. So this is, for example, a challenge that's still open, that still have to be solved. By the way, that's the reason why you don't find these linked metadata in the prototype, because this is something that needs more development and thinking about it. So, and yeah, so you have, I have the screen here, and the great thing is I can have not only the full overview, but really directly open the files and directly edit the real files. And so in this case, there's no design started at the start screen when I'm not logged in. But what you can already see is that there's more than just this one screen in this file. Well, that's because I linked the wireframe that I created in GoodNotes, also vector graphics. I linked the wireframe into Illustrator, and the great thing is that it means that every time when I export the new version of the wireframe from GoodNotes and save it to the folder on my Mac, it means that automatically when I open the Illustrator file, the latest wireframe will directly be opened. There's nothing I have to do, and I directly and always have the latest wireframe in my design. And yeah, this is really great for work in progress. So you don't have to export and update all the time, every time for every screen. Um, that would be crazy. And it also helps you to have in mind the relations from one screen to another screen. So this is the full wireframe actually. I can just give you a sneak peek by zooming out. So you see it's way more complex than the current design, that the current screenboard, as I call it. That's because I really just started to put all the screens into one file to link them, um, including the desktop version. Of course, if there is a major difference in the desktop version, otherwise I just have these kinds of smartphone previews. And so yeah, the wireframes are vector graphic based on vector graphics, and that's true for and that's also true for the real design. So because I created an Illustrator, it means it's vector based. It means I don't have to care about any resolution. It's just about the size. It's about the relations of objects depending on the size. So how big object should be. But I don't have to care about resolution anyway. It doesn't matter for me if I will export later on this icon, for example. If I will export it in, no, if it will be displayed on a website in 20 by 20 pixel or 2000 by 2000 pixel. That doesn't matter because I can simply export it as an SVG file and upload it to Webflow, and that's it. So, and by the way, the file sizes are way smaller. So instead of talking about maybe hundreds of megabytes, we're just talking about, just take a look, we're really just talking about, 30 MB for the whole Screenboard, and for a single screen, it's really just about, between maybe less than a megabyte up to, if there are also some pictures in it, it's a little bit bigger, but compared to an PSD file, it's really way smaller. And it's loading much faster, so the loading times are way shorter. And by the way, I should say this is currently running on a 12-inch MacBook, so a device with not really much performance, not a lot of performance, really a low-end processor, but also on this low-power device I can easily edit my files here. So, and yes, also when I put it on the 4K display behind me, it also works fine if I want to have more space. So yeah, this is the prototype, the design prototype in Illustrator, and so this is really for creating also marketing material. If I want to put the screens on a banner, in a graphic, and want to put a graphic on Facebook and so on, this is what this prototype is used for mainly. And really test the design of something that's not, cannot or should not be directly created in a Webflow. For example, things like filters for searching things, and so on. So the prototype in Webflow is based on the Screenboard, the prototype here in Illustrator, but it's really more a combination. The work is really, I will both work on the wireframe as well as the design, as well as the prototype in Webflow. So if there are some major changes in the structure and the user interface inside the wireframe, then without the need to spend awful lot of time to update the wireframe, as I explained, I have the latest wireframe in the design, and then I can directly change the design and to really take a look how it looks better. And yeah, then I will change it in Webflow. That's most of the time the kind of workflow I want to have. Of course, this workflow is flexible. But so this is just so this is a quick look on the prototype in Illustrator, and yeah, I hope you got a better idea of what working with design from the wireframe to the design looks like using Illustrator and using the combination with the wireframes I created in GoodNotes. So yeah.